sitzen hier Backstage beim Wacken mit einer Legende des Heavy Metal, Ronnie James Dio, der hier spielen wird mit seiner Band Heaven and Hell. Ronnie, thank you for having the time for a chat.
Pleasure.
The Wacken Festival is one of the, if not the biggest metal festival in the world. Is that a name that's familiar, for instance, in the US, in the metal and rock circles in the US?
It's a name that's known because in the States it's not really big festival territory anymore. They have a few festivals. One is called Coachella Festival. It's out in California. There used to be a few others, but I think Europe is more attuned to festivals. So musicians know it. I think maybe the people don't know it as much as not just Wacken, but most of the festivals they don't really know. Maybe they know Sweden Rock, they know Wacken if they know anything, but right. It's not really that familiar in America.
And you will be playing here probably in front of 70,000-80,000 people, and you have done all kinds of gigs, I'm sure, the smallest ones and the biggest ones. Is playing in front of crowds like this just another gig?
No, I mean, when you have that many people out there, it's never just another gig. But depending on the band, I prefer to play smaller places myself, only because you don't have the personal touch with an audience this big. The person who's number 70,000, who's way in the back, I mean, I can't see him or her. I don't have that same touch, and I think most musicians prefer to play for people that they can see and that they can feel, because the part of the experience of being a musician with any crowd is being able to have some kind of connection with them. But they're great in the way that you have all these people at one time, and so all these people get to see you and you only have to play once, and that's okay. And they're not just another gig. No, they're very special. I mean, this festival is very special because it's so well done. It's been run so well all through the years, and because I know the promoter so well, and he's a friend, and I've had great experiences here before. I was presented with something really wonderful at one of the festivals. I think that must have been, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. So it's very special to me, just because it's very personal to me. This one, again, I say Sweden Rock is always a good festival as well, but this is really, probably the best run of the festivals of all of them.
As a performer, do you have to get into a different kind of mindset if the audience is that far away from you? Do you have to prepare differently and move and act and perform differently?
Well, not preparation so much. Preparation doesn't have anything to do with going on that stage, because the first time you go on that stage, you make your judgment then. You don't prepare for it. I talk to people the same all the time, in each place that I play, because I think what I have to say to them, I want to be passed down to that 70,000th person in the back. So I don't prepare differently for it, but the experience is different when you get out there, because you don't know what to expect. And one festival is very much different from another, and certainly a small gig is different from a big gig. So I think if you've done this enough times, you react to what you see and what you hear when you're out there. Sometimes you don't hear the audience as loudly as the audience hear themselves. Sometimes you go, ooh, don't like us very much, do they? And you'll finish the show and you'll be affected by that a lot of times. And you'll come off and the band will go, gee, didn't really care much for us, did they? And then you'll speak to someone who's in the audience and they will say, the audience were great. So a lot of times acoustically, you don't really know what it's all about. So a festival that is really loud for you from the audience is always going to be great. And if you don't think that they're reacting very well, then you just have to put it out of your mind and just do the best job you can as a musician and hope that people will at least go away saying, well, they were good.
Are you aware of the fact that probably 80% of the musicians in this backstage area might credit you and Tony, for instance, not only as legends, but as inventors of their trade of heavy metal?
I think so. I think we are aware of that, and I think we were aware of it because of all the shows that we've done with all the bands that have been on the bill, especially the younger bands. They're so respectful of us, and they do say things like that to us, without you, I mean, you've done such wonderful things. But we try not to listen to it that way. I think that once you start to be praised and you believe that, I think you become less of a person. Then you start believing what they say, and I'm so important. And neither Tony nor I feel that way. We're not important. And I have to include Geezer in that too, because Geezer was certainly, Geezer and Tony and Ozzy and Bill Ward were the ones who really invented this form of music. I'm glad to have been able to be part of that. But it's a great point of pride. But I think you can't let it be too prideful, or you lose all control of yourself. You think you're better than you are. But yes, I am aware of it, and it's a wonderful thing to be praised. It really is.
That's a nice way to sum it up. So, Ronnie James Dio, thank you for taking the time for us.
Thank you for talking to me, and thanks for letting me give you my views about this wonderful festival. And I imagine in a couple of years' time we'll see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks. Look after the cat.